My relationship with my father is complicated, unique. My name's Elijah Walters. I'm from Long Island, New York, Hempstead, Long Island, New York. Came to Oakwood fall 2014. Didn't want to come to Oakwood. Was playing football. Had other things in mind, but God closed those doors. Sent me to Oakwood. Came here. I was a business management major. After my first year, I switched to accounting. And then when none of that was working out, even though I was good with numbers and all that, I knew what it was. So I switched to theology, and the rest is history. My relationship with my father is complicated. Growing up, yeah, we had good times, but sometimes when you have bad times, that kind of overshadows the good times you had, and sometimes, that's what really plays in your head. Unfortunately, even though I know there was good times, sometimes the bad times just overtake those. So, long story short, him and my mother, they were having marital issues, a lot of marital issues before we was even born. Um, my dad went to jail when I was 11 in 2007, September 8th. And from jail, he went on to not Holden, but like the transfer facility. And now he's in a max state prison. He got a life sentence. So my dad's doing life in prison right now. It's tough. It was tough, being a kid, being in sixth grade. Like the last graduation my father been to was kindergarten. Feel me? So, that could be rough, but I think after a while you just try to fight through it, get used to it. I'm about to graduate college soon, so kind of it is what it is. Through it all, he's tried to be the best father from prison, so I'll give him that. You know what I'm saying? Love and care and all that. Like he's tried, from the best way possible. We've had some rough patches in our relationship. Growing up, well, I look just like him, so growing up, dealing with my mom and my siblings and all that, she was still dealing with, her emotional and mental side for the whole situation. So, when me and her would get into it, she would kind of call me his name, just kind of look like him and stuff like that. So kind of associated me with the bad. So I tried to get close to my mom, but as a human, she's going through her whole situation because he put her through. I don't know how she's still, standing to this day. He put her through all that. He put her through hell. And then, I don't know. So I was trying to get right with my mom, feel me? But she was dealing with her own human side. I was shutting my dad out because I was trying to get right with my mom because I thought that was the way to do it in a way, So I was kind of by myself. And later on, when me and my mom kept having problems, when me and my mother kept having problems, me and my dad got closer. And then that's when our relationship kind of took off and kind of the same because, we're literally one and the same person, to be honest with you. His siblings, his friends, people who knew him, even to this day, I could be somewhere completely separate, and they'll ask me, yo, what's your name? Who's your father? 'Cause I look just like him, I move just like him, I act just like him, in a way. Yeah. When I was younger, I didn't like it, because remember, my mom did that out of anger, or out of hurt. So the association I had was a bad association. I didn't really want to be like him, But then after a while, I kind of took it yo, it is what it is. This is the skin I'm in. I can't change it. But now I'm at a place where I want to be known for me. At the same time, I accept it. It is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and cry over it. But at the same time, I don't want to be associated with the negative. I'd rather be associated with the positive and then make my own who I am from then on, you know. So, yeah. Our relationship is complicated right now, though. So, yeah. I remember the day. I remember the day that he went to jail because I knew something was wrong. Um, my mom was the principal of my elementary school, and we on the way to school that day. I'm sitting in the back seat of the van, and my mom get a call, and like, I just remember how, you know, how it was like, nah, something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? And it was rainy that day, so I would go in her office every day, like I would, just to check on her TV to, check the news to see what the weather would be for recess. And then when I was in there, I was watching the news, waiting for the weather to come up. She rushed in and shut it off. It was like, nah, like leave, like kind of like yelled at me in a way. And I was confused because I was like, this is what I do every day. Like I didn't understand, And then later, I think like a month, like they tried to hide it from us because they didn't know how to deal with it. They didn't know how, my mom, my aunt, my grandmother, they didn't know how to deal with it. So I think a month later they told us. Yeah, I think a month later they told us. It was weird because my parents, we was already separated at the time. Like my dad and my mom, they had just been separated for a couple months before. So not seeing him every day, that was regular. But he would always come, even when we were separated, he would always come. You know what I'm saying? And pick us up and call us and this, that, and the third. But then it stopped. So I think honestly, beyond that, I don't really remember because those parts of my life I tend to blur out. Yeah, yeah. I remember it broke me though. It broke me though. I didn't really understand it, but I still remember feeling broken, like sitting there mad, like not understanding. But yeah.
Like how you're handling it has evolved to now. Like since then, how did you deal with like that feeling of being broken? How are you dealing with it now?
Anger. Nah, I had an anger problem even before he went to jail. I had an anger issue before that. But I played football, so it was like football really turned into my first love for real. Like it turned into my therapy. That's why I was so good at it because I put my all on that field. Like there was nothing nobody could tell me. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the way I dealt with it. My mom tried to put us through counseling and all that, mainly me, because I was the one that was closest, that perceived closest to him, the one that acts most like him, the one that was affected. I was affected differently by it, and just by the whole situation. So counseling and all that, but I wasn't here for it. I wasn't here for no counseling. I'm not trying to sit here, talk to this man. You know what I'm saying? Who don't know me, don't know my situation. I could tell him anything, and he don't got no choice but to believe it. Like, and then he acting like he know about my situation. Like I was never with that. He was cool dude, like nothing personally against him. You know what I'm saying? It was just, I just felt like it wasn't for me. I felt like it was a waste of time. I felt like it was a waste of money. Like, what are we doing here? You wasting my afternoons. You know what I'm saying? I mean. So yeah, it was tough dealing with it before. I had a lot of outbursts. Like I think like in like 6th grade, I would be cool on the way to school, and then like once I got there, it would switch. Like I would be sick, like not sick physically, but like annoyed. Like I don't want to talk to nobody. Like I'm in my shell. You know what I'm saying? So like I guess a lot of mood swings, just not knowing how to deal with that. Like how do you deal with that? You feel me? At 11 years old, how do you deal with that? Your father was here. I mean, at the end of the day, he wasn't the most perfect person. You know what I'm saying? When his dad died, a flip switched to him. Like, I could tell that, you know? But, how do you deal with that at 11 years old? How do you deal with everybody telling you that you're not a man of the house at 11 years old? Whether that's real or perceived, that's what you're being told, How do you deal with the fact that, you feel like you got to provide at 11 years old? when you're not even through with sixth grade yet. You know what I'm saying? How do you deal with feeling like you got to protect your family because now your father not there no more at 11 years old? You see your mom struggling and all that, but you now, since you're the man of the house, what does that come with? You don't even know, because when the man that was there, you know what I'm saying, he wasn't perfect. I mean, nobody's perfect, but he wasn't the best role model at that time. So how do you deal with that? How do you learn that? How do you move with that? How do you, you know? I mean, I'm 23. I just turned 23 years old, and still seeing, you know, fathers with their kids, it still hit me different. I'm 23 years old. You know what I'm saying? Um, just trying to navigate life. You know, there's some people who was really like, some men who really tried to step up and they was down for me. And, you know, I respect that and I appreciate that. Like with all love, I thank them for that. And then there was some I just wasn't really banging with because I felt like it wasn't genuine, or I felt like they wasn't my type of people. So I'm wasting my time. Like, I don't want to be somebody's charity in case somebody's like check off on a list. That's not me. I'd rather thug it out, not thug it out, but I'd rather, you know, handle it by myself. That's how I was. I mean, there were some times I broke down on it. You know what I'm saying? I remember times going to see my father when he was in the county jail before he moved to the max. You know, standing in them lines outside and, you know, having to take off all your stuff and going through metal detectors and sitting with him like it's a bar, like it's a table, and like he across it. You feel me? We're not supposed to touch that much. You know what I'm saying? We hug and all that, but it's across the table. You know, I remember crying my eyes out, like in there on the way home. And like one thing my mom would always do, we would go to Dunkin' Donuts, she'll get me a hot chocolate. You know what I'm saying? And that wouldn't be like, and she wouldn't say too much. And if I would cry, she'll tell me she knows and she'll comfort me. But that hot chocolate, that's what it was to kind of let me know that it was okay. Or, you know, I don't know, it just kind of helped me through it. You feel me? So it came to a point where it wasn't even said that we going here. Like, that's just what happened. But yeah, so that's how I dealt with it back then. Outbursts and failures and mistakes and all that. I thank God I had people who stepped in and slapped me back in line when I started acting up stupid. And now, everything happens for a reason, and that's biblical. You know what I'm saying? All things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. All things. You know, for I reckon the sufferings of this present time shall not be compared to the glory which shall be revealed in us. You know, it was good for me that I was afflicted, that I might learn thy statutes. You know, the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. All things were together for some reason, you know. And God kind of revealed to me some ways that why it happened or why he allowed it to happen, because that was my prayer. You know, I used to pray to God, you know, why is this happening? I used to pray like, yo, bring him home. And every time I would pray for it hard, he'll move him further and further away. So at that point, I stopped praying, you know. So that's why me and God's rough patch kind of took hold in there. But when I was younger, I had football pictures for like the town football team. I was like 8, something like that. And I could not find my jersey for nothing, right? And I'm panicking. My dad not home yet, something like that. And then he tells me, yo, have you prayed about it? I'm like, no. He said, pray about it. I pray about it. Feel me? I go back into the laundry room and my jersey is right there, like in plain sight. When I had just flipped this laundry room up and down, looking, searching, whatever. And you know, and from that moment, God, my dad has always instilled in me that prayer works, that prayer is power, you know. So that was good. And then we used to have family worship, you know. That was good, you know. But then as the drama started happening more and more, when I tried to call on God for myself, it was like, nah. Things just kept getting worse. You know, it's like, yo, when you call on God, things are supposed to get better, but it was getting worse. And then, like I said before, when I would pray to God, tell God, yo, bring my daddy home, you know, he would move further and further away. So then he was 15 minutes away. Then he was 2 hours away. Then he was 4 hours away. And now he's 8 hours away, 8 hours away, something like that. He in upstate New York. So that shook my relationship with God because it was just like, and it was very, and then what relationship I did have with God, it was very surface level. It was very like, you're up there, I'm down here, it's cool. But I was still keeping the Sabbath though, I was still doing what I was taught and all that. But as far as a real relationship, nah. I think I saw God the way I saw my dad at a certain point. Like, as far as like tit for tat type of thing. Like if you do this, I'll do this type of thing. Or like you reliable, but when you ready to be reliable, you know. Not like, when I need you type of thing. But I mean, my dad has been there some majority of the time. But like I said before, the bad times stick out. You feel me? So yeah. I think now God has been trying to wean me off that. Like, yes, like your father, your parents are your first view of God, but at the same time, he's trying to bring me off that, showing me he's a whole different type of father. I think seeing him for who he is, he not changing, bro. Like, he is who he is. He gonna be who he gonna be. He's grown. He's in his early 50s. I can't expect nobody to change no more. You feel me? But from that, I'm just learning that, yes, I look like him. Yes, I act like him. Yes, I have the same proclivities too, but I could be completely different. Like different, well, to a certain extent. Like I can't change my face with it look the same. But as far as the way I handle things, how I see certain things, how I deal with certain things, understanding that counseling is good, therapy is good, understanding all that, processing what I'm going through, at the end of the day, I really process it like, it's really it's not only for me no more. Like if I have kids, I can't put them through that same cycle, For my wife, if I love her, I'm gonna start working that stuff out from now. You feel me? Like I can't just present myself to her like, oh, here, now deal with all this. That's not love, bro. It's not. Just how even it could be to a fault now, but even how I deal with women now, like it's a problem. Like as far as me wanting to be the best man or whatever to you, it could be unrealistic. I think that's what happened when I was an early teen. Like I saw my dad, or I know my dad doing A, B, C, and D. So for me, I want to be completely opposite. But then that had me trying to be a husband at 15 years old. Like, trying to be the most perfect little boyfriend at 15 years old. So when all my other friends are exploring themselves and this, that, and the third, I'm trying to be somebody's husband. So then now, like at the end of high school, early college, when, people are starting to find themselves, starting to like settle down and all that, it's now flipped. I'm out here making stupid mistakes, going through my learning curves. But I think I'm past that now,
I'm not actually mentioning that. How do you think your issue with your dad impacts how you relate to women, both just women in general and women romantically?
Women in general.
Like how you relate to women, even on like platonic level, and also specifically romantic.
I have a lot of sisters. Like, I've always had a lot of sisters. I take this role of like the big bodyguard, bouncer, protector. I think partly because I want to protect them. Maybe because I feel like I couldn't protect my mom. So now I feel like I got to protect them. I take it personal when they go through stuff with different little guys and all that. I take it personal when any guy talk to them out of term and, it's unspoken of, like, God put a hand on them, it's over. You see what I'm saying? Like, when things happen in life, you either follow it or it shock you the other way. It shocked me the complete other way. To a fault sometimes. I put myself in some dangerous situations because of just the way I think, the way I process. Because I'm trying so hard to fight the current that I feel taking me one way, I'm trying to go the other way. Um, you know, I tend to give my all just in the effort of not being like my father. So to me, giving your all is loving them completely, loving them unconditionally, being there for them and, providing and this, that, and the third. And put into the wrong hands, that could be taken advantage of. So, yeah, romantically, same thing, you know, like, there's some things I told myself I would never do, I would never, ever, ever. I can't do it. See what I'm saying? Like, I could never put my hand on a woman. Can't do it. I could never cheat on a woman. Can't do it. I'd rather not be with you or break up with you before I cheat on you. I can't do it. Like, I can't do it. It's like a respect thing. And that's why I'm very big on respect now. Like, if you respect me, I respect you. Don't disrespect me, and I won't disrespect you, type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Cheating is a form of disrespect, not only to you, to myself. And if you my wife, I mean, later in line, if you my wife and I cheat on you, that's like disrespecting God as well. You know what I'm saying? So, nah. I'm still trying to navigate, like, Eli, you don't gotta be perfect. You know, you don't gotta, you really don't, you could do your best, but you don't gotta be perfect. When you're the glue, sometimes that could be strained until the point that it breaks. Like, if you're the glue of your friends, if you're the glue of your family, you know, under a certain amount of strain, it's going to break. I believe that's kind of what happened to him. And he didn't tend to it to the point of repairing himself to the point where it was just like, it is what it is. It's a process, though.
What are some, on hand, some good things, I guess benefits or something, that of your life now, that you experienced because of your dad, because of a relationship with your dad? Then on the same time, what are some, and you kind of talked about this already, kind of, some of the challenges that you experience today because of your relationship with your dad?
The bond I have with my siblings, like, they'll tell you I love them unconditionally. I really do. Like, that's my left and my right hand. That's my left and my right rib. You know what I'm saying? Until I get a wife or whatever, then that's gonna be my rib. But they still gonna be my left and my right hand. You feel me? I love them. Those are I love them a lot. Like, I can't even put it into words. It's like one thing that my dad always put into me, like, the blood that runs in my veins is the blood that runs in their veins, and you do anything for your blood. That's it. My sister knows I'll do anything for her. Like, when it comes to that. My brother knows I'll do anything for him when it comes to that, because the blood that runs in my veins is the blood that runs in your veins, And that's a bond that I'm solid on keeping. It's not gonna fold. Can't let it fold. I see the way my dad and his siblings, they had a rough patch and all that, and I see what it did. And I vowed to them, like, nah, we can't do that. Us three, we gonna stay 10 toes down because we can. We gotta stay rooted. So that family aspect, that protective aspect, the providing aspect, I always had a job. That's probably because of my mom too, because you're working. Like, there's no way you're not, So soon as I got my working papers, I was working. So how he was and how I am, always having different jobs, and how what also my mom instilled in me, that too. You said negatives, right?
Some challenges, yeah.
Some challenges. My temper's a challenge. When I was younger, it was real bad. But I'm a Christian, so it's calmed down. But I am. But once I'm at that point, there's no more. Like, I don't. I shut down now before I get to that point. Because one thing he always instilled in me, because of his mistakes, is DOR, discipline over rage. And then one thing he always told me was, sin will take you further than you wanted to go, keep you longer than you wanted to stay, and charge you more than you wanted to pay. And that's the same thing with my decisions. If I allow my decisions me in a fit of rage or a fit of heat or whatever I'm going through to dictate me thinking logically, I'm going to lose more than I ever planned to lose. I guess that's another positive. But the role of a father is extremely important. Extremely important. There's a reason that God makes the man or the father or whatever the head of the household. There's a reason. Um, Everybody has their role in the house. There's a reason the father or the husband is the priest of the home. There's a reason. Um, in my opinion, you hear more father issues than you hear mother issues, especially in the black community. In my opinion, um, the father, a lot of times, can either propel you forward or hold you a million steps back. In my experience, in my opinion, the father's a role that other people can try to fill, but it's nothing like having your own that's, if they would just act right. You know what I'm saying? Or the situation could have just been what it should have been. So yeah, the father plays a very pivotal role, extremely pivotal role. And I'm not saying that it's such a role that God can't fix, because God can do anything literally. He can restore anything literally. But I'd rather not be set back. I'd rather be pushed forward. And I'd rather not set my children back. I'd rather push them forward. And then my grandchildren back and push them forward. You see what I'm saying? Like it's a cycle. And it takes one to break it and it takes one to start it. So, yeah. Dear Dad, we not speaking right now of some petty stupidness, some stuff that don't even really matter in the grand scheme of life. But I love you still, and yeah, wish things was different.
That you mentioned that, how does that work? How do they, as far as like talking to you, communicating with your dad now that he's there? How does that whole thing work?
All right, so you got a couple ways. So, you got a couple ways. The ways that I can say that you're allowed to do it is, or you're supposed to do it is, letters, cards, that type of thing, and then you call, like you pay to be on the phone, like a payphone type of thing, just through a company. You send them money, and then you put money on the phones, and that's when he can call. But you gotta understand that, you know what I'm saying, in the yard, it's only but so many phones. So everybody's fighting over phone time. Somebody's running phone time. One of the inmates is running phone time. You know what I'm saying? My dad used to run phone time, but then there was some situations or whatever. He don't run phone time no more. Now the COs, the correction officers, they run phone time now. So yeah. So that's when you get to talk. Sometimes it's for a couple minutes because you gotta break your time up between all the people you gotta call. Sometimes it's, for the whole time. It depends on the nature of the situation. Yeah, there have been times where we've, where his CO, where his guard cracked him out because, they cool and all that, and he let him be on the phone for mad long. I want to say like maybe 20 minutes, because it's 20 minutes a clip. So then like a 20-minute call, and then it cuts off, and then call you back if you got that time. Sometimes he breaking his call up between his mom, my aunt, his wife, my stepmom, other business he got to handle. So there's times when it's, I love you, clip, feel me? Yeah, so at that time when I was growing up, I don't miss no calls, bro. Because at that time, it was like, I don't know the last time I'm going to talk to him. That's really my mindset, you know? Like, he's in prison. He's in a max facility. Like, anything could happen, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know if it's the last time I'm going to talk to my father, ever, you know? So, every time he call, I'm picking up. I'll be at work, picking up. I'll be at church, picking up. I'll be in class, picking up. I'm driving, I'm picking up. I'm asleep, picking up. I'm with a girl, I'm picking up. Like, there's no time I'm not picking up the phone. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's how it worked. That's how it worked.
When was the last time you spoke to your dad?
All this drama and all that we got going on. Last time I spoke to him, like, spoke on the phone, September.
When do you think the next time you will speak to him?
When one of us break, because we both stubborn. Like, he sent me a card for my birthday, but next time we're going to talk is when one of us finally giving